Again, you're speaking definitively about something, and attorneys are contradicting you. So I realize you have some experience with this, but you are maybe talking to a different set of people or something. But I'm really concerned about you saying this so definitively, because you're literally contradicting what the top immigration attorney in Paris, who is recommended almost universally by everybody that I know in the south of France as well as the north of France, who writes like definitive articles on the topic, and he is saying, and his underlings are saying, that you can do this on both the tourist visas, that you can remote work for a US company. You cannot work for a French company. And if you have a US company, you shouldn't have French clients and things like this. But again, and for anybody watching this, I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just saying, like, what this person is saying, I'm saying don't listen to this and believe that this is true, because this is what I believed before. And now I'm being told something completely different by multiple people who I respect and who do this professionally for a living. So I respect that you think this, but that would be very limiting for people. And if people believe you, they're going to limit their choices, and they're going to possibly avoid having the life they want to have. So do your own research. If you want to hire the same attorney I hired, you're going to get the same answer I got, which is that you can remote work. The reason this is confusing, by the way, and the reason there isn't a black and white answer, is because France itself is confusing with the government. For example, and I said this when I first came to France, it might even been before I got here, that when you fill out the application for the visa, they're saying you can't work, okay? But what's unclear to me and other people is whether or not they're saying you can't work in France. They're not necessarily saying, I'm not saying they're not saying this, I'm just saying there's some confusion as to whether they're saying you can remote work for a company that's in the US versus they're definitely telling you can't work in France. Work in France, work for a French company, be a French employee. That is clear. That is not in dispute. However, what is in dispute is whether or not it's tolerable. It's both whether it's in the letter of the law, which is unclear and it's a gray area, and two, whether it would be enforced. Those are two different things. But anyway, there's a lot of doubt about this. Right, making the visa remote work.
How do you say we live? How do you say we live? New had.
So the other way that we know that there's conflict even within the French government about this, which is why it's in a gray area, is that this application, which you're going to see this in a second, I'm going to show you a screenshot of something, but when you apply, you put one of the options that you can put for what's your source of income to make this money that you need to make to prove that you can be under this visa. One of the options is you can be putting that you have remote work from a US based employer. You can write that in the application and they approve it. They do not deny you the application. You write it, you don't hide it. I didn't hide it. Other people I know don't hide it. It's in black and white. So you're telling the French government, the consulate, you're telling them what you're doing, okay? And then they approve your application. So you can't say they don't know. It's like this sneaky thing. You've been very, very upfront. So all the people with this like boogeyman stuff, like, oh, you're gonna get in trouble and all this stuff, it's on the application. I mean, if anything like that ever happened, you'd be able to show them on the application, I told you this. I told you what I was doing. To give physical proof, this is a screenshot of the actual letter that we received from the attorney. I'm just gonna go over this. So it says the long stay visitor visa has the following 4 conditions. You must promise not to work in France for a French company. Okay, so just so you don't get confused, you'll see the other side of that in a second here. You must be able to demonstrate at least 16,000 euros per year in pension, rents, annuity, dividends, etc. Teleworking, see this part? Or teleworking, okay? You're getting income from teleworking. It's included in all the passive income stuff. For a non-French corporation, you must have recognized health insurance covering their stay in France, like you can get emergency health insurance. You must be able to prove accommodation in France. The part I really wanted to get to, though, it just talks about you can get the health insurance, the CPAM, which is going to be their carte vitale. Disadvantages, okay. Before naturalizing, you have to go on the 10-year card and work for 18 months on the French labor market as an employee or an entrepreneur. I talked about that before in another video. Read this one. The French prefecture consulate states that you are allowed to telework while in France. This is from the attorney. However, this work should not have a French client or a French employer. So there it is. That's why I'm saying this. I'm not making this up. Again, this is what other people say too. Your miles may vary. Take your own risks. It's up to you. I'm not saying you won't have any problems. I'm saying that if attorneys are known for being conservative, they don't want to give their clients bad advice. This is the top attorney. They're not going to be saying things that they don't feel really, really strongly about. I know this from the consultation because they said a lot of other things where they were conservative about certain things, but moreover, they're just basically honest and actual. They know exactly what's going on. They're doing this time after time, every single day. So I'm trusting them. I'm moving forward based on that. Again, you do you.